the second thing is you need to, so when you pick your software, you're going to have to set up your merchant account. Okay. Set up a merchant account, which I was like, oh, set up a merchant account. Like, it's a pain in the butt to set up a merchant account, honestly. And and some of them you could pick whichever merchant account. StorageNerds, you have to use theirs. And it's so funny because I was looking, like we were doing we meet our bookkeeper every Friday and go through our stuff on Fridays. And so we were looking at, like, we were going through our merchant account invoices and kind of cleaning them up in QuickBooks and stuff. And they charge, I don't know if they're going to charge new people, but for us, they're charging 2.1% interest. 2.1% interest, which is like really good because I use Stripe for like all my purchases on, for courses and stuff, and they're charging me like 2.9% interest. So, so Storage really has a good merchant account rate. I really like that. So make sure that you're asking these questions too, and setting up a merchant account is like a super important thing because it's like huge. This is fees, like credit card fees are like a huge thing, right? And also another thing too I've noticed is like with ESS, the merchant account that they make you use is like do a lot of extra fees, like hidden fees and things like this as well too. So, so basically what I'm saying is that, get your demo on your software, and when you're talking to them, also talk to them about how the merchant account works. Can you pick your own or not? And what are their fees? Do they have like hidden fees, or is it just a percentage and all this kind of stuff, right? So, so again, this is a very important aspect, the merchant account, okay? And then on top of that, and this is where you have to get all this, like work on getting all this done so that you can take payments in the first week that you close, right? Now, obviously they might say like, oh, you have to own the facility, but there's a lot of like stuff that you can do beforehand, like filling out the applications and getting in, just getting it ready, all this kind of stuff. You fill this out, you fill the applications out and these forms and stuff and everything, and it just takes time for them to do all this. You have the sooner rather than later. Okay, and then also on this too, you have to think about it is your phone system, your phones. How are you going to answer your phones, right? Because, like, are you going to have them call your own phone? Are you going to set up a phone with Grasshopper or whatever? Are you going to use the phone that they provide through the company, or, how are you going to set that up? So it's like, you have to really kind of think through, okay, like if I just have this one account, maybe I could just use Voice or I could use theirs. But if I'm going to start getting all these other companies, then how should I set my phone system up? I mean, we use Grasshopper. We have 23 lines on Grasshopper. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. Phones, as you grow, get very, very complicated. All right. So thinking about it ahead of time is like super important. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and then, yeah, so that's like kind of software stuff. Okay. That's like software, getting stuff like ready to go. And then you also have, you need to get on Google Maps. You need to be able to get on Google Maps, which is like kind of onboarding and then like management, but like trying to figure out how to do this and setting up an account and setting everything up. This takes time. This is not easy. All right. And trying to figure out the whole thing is Google is just crazy with like their way of doing stuff, right? If anybody's ever put a business on Google Maps, it is not easy to put it on, like, especially nowadays, like the fraud and all this kind of stuff. So Google Maps is something. And then also another thing is your insurance. Okay, insurance for the facility itself, like insurance, like if there's a fire or something like that, okay, hazard insurance. So you need to get like quotes because, when you close on this property, you need to have insurance, right? And a lot of times with lending, you have to do that, whatever it is, and you have to name, if you have owner finance, it's the beneficiary, the owner has to be named the beneficiary. So there's a lot to insurance, and getting a quote for insurance is not something that takes 24 hours. It could take like a week to 2 weeks, maybe. It takes a long time to get insurance quotes. It just does, and then you want to get like a whole bunch of quotes, because if you just get one, you're gonna be like, what? You're just gonna be freaking out, right? Because like insurance is so expensive a lot of times. You're like, is that normal? And then also a lot of times, like in Florida, you gotta get flood insurance. You know, flood insurance is like, you got to get that too, right? So in some areas, you got to get certain insurances and stuff. Okay. So this also takes time. And then another thing too is, and this is something maybe not with onboarding, but it could be done beforehand to prepare. Whoops, is the mailbox. The mailbox. Does your facility have a mailbox? Because you might have to, Google Maps might, you know, send a postcard to you. Now, Google Maps is like Google Business Listings or whatever it's called, Google Profile or whatever it's called now. They're like changing it up and like changing the way they do this. So I'm not sure, like, if has anybody put the business on? Do they still do do they still send you the postcard and have like the numbers in it, or you could just come on and put your number? So, but that's kind of how we did it, is like, and that's how we've done it up until, actually, that's how we've done it on all of them pretty much. But they send you a postcard. Google sends you a postcard with the code, and then you go into your profile and then you put the code in it, and then and then you have to go through and finish your profile up. So you need to have a mailbox there. And I'm going to tell you, most storage facilities do not have mailboxes. In fact, the only reason that we ever have a mailbox at any of our facilities is because we have to put this damn, you know, postcard up, right? So yeah, if y'all have gone through this process, put it in the chat, let everybody know what's going on. But yeah, so a mailbox is really important. Now, we have one facility where like we had to put the mailbox up, and and we went to that they had never had a mailbox before. So we had to go to the PO, like what's it called, the post office. And we said, okay, we need to put a mailbox up. So where do we put this thing up? And they were like, okay, put it here. And it's kind of like, it has like a drive, like our facility is over here, and there's like a huge drive right there. Like they wanted us to put this like mailbox, like right where the guy could come in, and then like there'd be the mailbox right there, put the mail in and go, right? I'm telling you, this mailbox, like we got the postcard, we got it on Google Maps. And now we have already had to put this damn mailbox up like at least 3 times, because it's in this weird turn where people just keep hitting it and then it just gets knocked down. It's like so annoying. So we just decided to take the mailbox down. So we also have like no mailbox at our storage facility, right? So we're like, no mailbox. We don't even need it there. We got the card. That's it. Because we just forward all of our addresses to like our mailing address. We forward all the mail there, right? So, but you have to have it in order to get onto Google Maps for the most part. Okay, for the most part. All right. So now there's like 50 things, honestly, with onboarding. Like we have a checklist inside our coaching program where it's like there's 50 different things. In fact, actually, you can get that checklist if you buy the Dill Analyzer. If you buy the Dill Analyzer, there's a checklist that comes inside the Dill Analyzer. That's called the onboarding checklist. So if you want to get that checklist, I highly recommend that you check out the Dill Analyzer. You can go to the website, stacyrossetti.com, and see it. But there's like 50 different things that you have to do for the onboarding process. And I can't remember all of them, but this is like kind of the main stuff. The main stuff is really getting your software set up and getting that going. Okay.